everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a simple charm bracelet, just the classic style charm bracelet, using products from the Bargain Bead box. So our encouraging words for today, we have two. One is reach for the stars, because Jeremiah 29:11 says that my plan for your future is filled with hope. So you can reach for the stars because God is going to help you accomplish whatever you want to do. All right, that's nice. That's a good one. Okay, so we're just going to make a simple charm bracelet today. These are great to do if you have leftover beads with, from projects. So like the Bargain Bead box, I've used a bunch of the stuff that's in it already. I still have, some leftover beads here. Those are from yesterday's project. So I'm going to make a charm bracelet. I love these little charm bracelets. They're a lot of fun. So I'm just going to take the beads that I've got here, I'm going to separate them into some piles. I've got some, the toggle clasp here as well. Let me move my camera just a bit. Okay, there we go. So I'm recording in my bedroom now because Chris is like super loud. He's loud. He's just so loud. And I had some ruined videos that I couldn't upload because he was talking so loud in the background. He's on the phone for work, and he wears this headset, and I think he can't hear, but he slams doors and talks to the dog, and it just doesn't make for good videoing. So I have moved my video location into the bedroom, and it's not really optimal, but it's working out okay, I think. It seems like it's okay, but I'm having to drag everything in here every time that I want a video, which is a pain in the rear end, but I'm doing it. So, here we have our little beads, and I had them all in one container because of that very reason, because I had to carry everything in here. So I'm going to show you which ones I'm using. These are leftovers from what I've been doing with the Bargain Bead box, okay? So I've got some of the starfish beads here. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them left from my projects. I've got 3 of these little links, and these are really cute because you can dangle it and then dangle something from it. So it's like a double little charm on there. I've got some of the rondelles, the sparkly rondelles. I've got a few of the 4mm seashell beads. I have 1 of the larger seashell beads, 1 of the electroplated barrels, 7 of the cubes, the agate cubes, 1 of these rondelles, and then a bunch of these guys. I haven't done a whole lot with these guys. I've used them some, and 2 of the starfish beads, okay? So that's what I have that I'm going to be, and I have a couple other beads left over, but I'm not going to be using them. Like I have the long agate bead. I don't think I'm going to be using it. I don't know. It might look kind of cute on there. It may. Let me go grab it and we'll just see. Okay, so here's the agate bead. This long, I don't know that we'll use it, but I did go ahead and pull it out. And then I had these 2 left over, and honest to goodness, I do not care for these at all. I don't think they look at all like an ammonite, which is what they're supposed to be. But I may add them on just because they have the right colors. I don't know. We'll see. These 3 are iffy. Okay. And then I have all of the chain. Okay, so this chain that came in the box, I'm going to be cutting it into shorter lengths. So this is going to be a little bit of a different charm bracelet. It's going to be pretty. We're going to be cutting the chain. I've got some oval jump rings here. These are available on my website if anybody wants them. I have the toggle, and I have this Rolo chunky chain. I got this at Hobby Lobby for $1.74. It was on clearance. But you can use any chunky chain you have. You don't even really have to have chunky chain. Like you could use this chain, but it's just going to be a lot more difficult to get the dangles in. So I am pulling out this chunkier chain. You can get chunky chain on Amazon. You can get it at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, just about anywhere. If you get on Amazon and type in chunky chain for jewelry making, it's going to bring stuff up. So you can look that way. I do have some ball head pins. These are available on my website as well. I think I have a few of these left. I didn't have a whole big bunch left. And then I have some regular head pins. Okay? And then, of course, your jewelry tools. And I am using today the one-step looper. This is the 1.5 millimeter. It makes a 1.5 millimeter loop. And I'm using this because we're making a bunch of dangles. It's not my favorite tool for making loops, but it's going to be convenient for today. If I'm making a ton of dangles, I use it. If I'm just making a few, I just make them myself because I like the way mine turn out better. But we're using that. And I think that that is everything. So get your stuff together, and we are going to make a charm bracelet with a little extra added to it. Not the regular norm charm bracelet. It's going to be a little bit different, but a lot of fun. Okay, so this is what I've got here with this. I don't know what this chain was. I guess it's a necklace with this thing here that you can hang something from. I don't know. We're not going to use it that way. I'm going to take this off, this link piece here. So let me find my pliers. I'm a little out of my element in this bedroom, but that's okay. And I'm tired today. My kids came in last night. Logan, Kyle, and Lainey, my niece, and her friend Carly. And they drove all the way from West Virginia. And it took them, they left at 7:30 in the morning and didn't get here until 2 o'clock in the morning because of construction. And they stopped to meet Kyle's sister and eat lunch, and yeah, they were zombies when they got here, and I was pretty much one too. So I have slept in a little this morning, but I'm still pretty tired. And my other son, Landon, comes on the 30th with his friend. And so I'm going to have all of them here for just a couple of days, and I'm really excited because I miss my boys terribly. All right, so this chunky chain is right about the perfect length right here. I don't have my, yeah, I do have my ruler. Yay, I was a little more prepared than I even thought. How about that? So let's see. This is right at 7 inches, and by the time I put the clasp on it, it'll be a good length because these dangles will take up some of the chain. You know, they'll shrink it a little bit. So that's pretty perfect. So just measure, see where you need yours to go. Now, I am going to use this chain, but I'm going to use this chain after I put the dangles on. I am going to go ahead and put the clasp on just so it's out of the way. And I'm just using some oval jump rings for this. 2 matching ones would be helpful, wouldn't it? There we go. I'm going to be using a lot of these today, these jump rings. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the clasp on either end. So we've got our toggle bar, or her toggle ring. See, I'm tired. I don't know if I should be filming this video right now, but I'm going to anyway. It was such a late night, and I used to stay up late when I was younger, but I am not. I pretty much am zonked out by about 10:30 anymore these days. So it was a late night for me. I don't know if that's going to fit on that jump ring. I may have to pull out a bigger one for this. These toggles have kind of a thick. Yeah, I'm going to pull out a couple of bigger ones. I have all sizes of everything mixed together in this little container. I've got all my ovals are in this container, the silver ones. So I'll just pull out a couple of a little bit bigger ones, and that'll make for hooking the clasp on a little bit better, I think. Whoops. So I haven't seen my kids for a long time. Logan has, neither one of them have ever been here to visit me. This will be the first time. Logan's never been to visit me in North Carolina even, because he was working like mad. And Landon did come and visit in North Carolina, but he hasn't been here to Florida yet, so this will be the first time for him. Lainey's never been here, and her friend. And they're wanting to go to Disney. I'm like dreading Disney so bad. It's going to be 97 degrees that day. We're going on Saturday. It's going to be super crowded. We tried to get a weekday and there weren't any available. And I was like, how about Volcano Bay? Let's go there. That's a water park. And the girls were like, no, we want to see the castle and the fireworks. And I was like, oh, okay. Disney it is. So I'm kind of dreading the whole Disney experience this time because it's going to be hot and the lines are going to be insane. So y'all pray for me. Okay. So here we go. I've got that on. Now we're just going to start making dangles. What I want to do first, though, I like to start with the bigger beads, okay? And I'm just going to space these guys out here. They don't have to be perfect, evenly spaced or anything like that, but I'm just going to try and kind of just space them out randomly to where they're, you know, kind of close to where I want them to be. And then we're going to make dangles. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 8 of these here. So I'm going to take 8 of my jump rings, and I'll show y'all how this one-step looper works. I'm sure you've seen it before if you've watched me, but we'll do it anyway. So you take your bead, you put it on your head pin, then you insert it in this way. So it goes through, see that little hole in the back it's sticking out of? There it is. And you get down as close to the bead as you can, and then you just squeeze it, and then I like to take it and tip it back. And there it makes the little loop. Now that's a pretty good one. The thing I don't really care for is the space it leaves between the loop and the bead. And I mean, there's probably no way to, I'm sure that the, you know, makers of this, it's probably not possible to get any closer because you would crack your bead. But that's why I like to kind of make my own loops sometimes. So I'm just going to take this one-step looper, though. It is very, it does make making loops much quicker, I have to say. I got to give them that. It really does. And I'm trying to pick out my shorter head pins. I don't really want to use my long ones for these short little dangles. And that head pin is bent, so the beads, oh no, it's got a flattened spot in it. I ordered these head pins from one of the Chinese websites, and not that I'm not saying anything against the Chinese, but I'm just saying that website, they're kind of, there were a lot of them with problems. They weren't the best quality head pins, but I'm using them because I'm not going to waste them. But yeah, a bunch of them had those flat spots in them, which is fine. I mean, you could use that as an, you know, it would make its own head pin, is what I'm saying. A lot of times I'll flatten out wire, the end of wire, and make a head pin out of it. It's kind of a decorative little thing, but I don't really want it for this project. So we'll set that one aside and use him in another project. And I'm just continuing to make my dangles here on these bigger beads. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me make every dangle in this whole bracelet, but for this part, till we move on to the next step, I'm just going to do it because it's not going to take that long. So I like to start with the big beads, the big chunky beads first. That just kind of helps you to space out your bracelet more evenly, your charms on your bracelet, I should say. It does me. So I've got this one and one more, and you could always add more. I mean, I like my charm bracelets to be really full, but we're going to be adding some chain onto this, so I don't want to make it too full right away. We can always add in beads later. That is, you know, there's no problem doing that. So I'm going to keep it kind of, I'm still putting a lot of beads on it, but I want to leave room for that chain. All right. So we have our dangles made. Now, I'm just going to take my dangles, and again, I'm just going to kind of space them out here. You can count if you want to count links and do it mathematically and scientifically and all that greatness. You can do that. I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to hang each one on a link using the jump rings. So do that and come right on back. One thing I do want to note is I'm using smaller jump rings. I didn't have to get big ones for this, obviously. But you need to make sure if you're using the one-step looper, well, even if you're not, just make sure that you get your loops closed really good, especially if you're using the one-step looper, because it tends to leave the loops a little bit open. So just, you know, as you're hanging these dangles on, make sure that you get your loops closed really good, because you don't want your pieces falling off. You know, you go out to church with your bracelet on, or out to dinner with your bracelet on, and you're leaving little chunks of beads everywhere. That's never good. So make sure that your dangles are closed, your loops are closed up really, really good. Hang all your dangles on and come right back. Okay, so I've got all of my little beads on here, and I ended up adding a couple extra. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have a total of 10. So, you know, if you want to adjust for that, you can, or you can just do it how you have it. But I needed to add a couple more in. It just was kind of, wasn't looking right. So there we go. All right. So now, what I would like to do now, let's see. I've got these cubes. And then I have these little single beads. And then I have these links. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the links next. And what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to vary them. So if you look, I'm probably going to do 3 of these right now. And I'm going to spread them out here like this. And I'm just going to vary the lengths. So this one I'm going to hang from several jump rings, or I may use a bead. So let's see. Let's do this. Let's go ahead. This one, I think I'll use a couple of these guys right here. So I'm going to use a seashell bead. I need an eye pin for this, don't I? Yes, I do. Did I bring any eye pins? No, I didn't. I thought I saw one here a minute ago. I know I did. Grab some eye pins. I'm really sorry. I wasn't even thinking about needing eye pins, but you're going to need a couple eye pins. Here's one. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and do this one, and then I'll go grab a couple more. I'm going to put one of these seashell beads on here. Okay. And one of the rondelles. So that's going to make him hang down just a little bit more. I'm still going to hang him from the jump ring, but that's going to make him hang down just a little bit more. And I want to kind of vary the lengths on some of these things. I don't want them all just hanging at the same level. So I'm going to go ahead and hook him on, and I'm actually going to hook him on with a jump ring, so that gives him even a little bit more length. So I'm going to hook him on with the jump ring. Let's make sure this is closed. Sometimes it is so hard to get those jump rings to hold still while you're trying to close the loop. They want to twist. Okay, so I'm going to hang him on here. And then I'm going to hook the others on. I'll show you. We're going to put a little dangle on the end of these too. So let's see. There he is. Let's hook him on with a jump ring. Just like this. And I'm trying to kind of keep everything hanging on the same side of the bracelet. It's pretty much impossible unless there was a tool that a bunch of people told me about. I can't remember the name of it now, but I need to look that back up. But I want to get it, and it strings your bracelet in between 2 things, and that way you can make sure you always get your dangles hooked on. I could probably invent something on my own here, but I really would like to get one of those, but I haven't yet. But that helps to get all your dangles on the same side. But it's not really critical for this bracelet because they're going to go everywhere anyway. You know, they're just going to be all over the place. So I'm putting a little rondelle on this head pin, this ball head pin, and I'm going to do a wrapped loop here. So I'm bending that 90 degrees, just like that. I'm going to go up and over, just like that. Rotate my plier up, come around. And I'm going to put this directly on the loop to the little starfish. Okay, so just, you may have to open your loop back up a little, but just go ahead and, I closed mine up too much. So just open it back up a little. Put it right on your dangle on the bottom here. And then you can close it back up, grab it, and we're going to just do a little wrapped loop here. Super easy, just around a couple of times to secure it, right like that. and you can take it and trim it with your cutter. My cutters are really dull. I was expecting that to fly, and it's not, because it's not cutting very well. There we go. I need new cutters, and I need a lot of stuff right now. I'm not buying anything right now. Saving my money. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to tuck this so it's not poking out the little wire there. Okay, just like that. So there's what we have for one of our little dangles. And as you can see, these guys are just kind of going to flip and flop around. So I'm going to take the other two. I'm going to do the same thing with the dangle here, but I'm just going to hook them on probably just with a regular jump ring and not dangle them down as much as this one. So go ahead. It's really up to your own creative control how you want to do it. I mean, you can dangle them from a couple jump rings if you want. You could do the same thing again if you wanted to. Totally up to you. I'm really just trying to fill in at this point some of the spaces here because we're going to be adding the rest of our beads and our starfish and everything. Okay, so just go ahead and use your own creative control. Put these on however you want them. See, I'm going to make a dangle there. And this guy over here, I may even dangle him down a couple jump rings. So I'm just trying to vary them. So go ahead and do that. Come on back. Okay, so now I'm going to put my starfish on. And I'm going to do these a lot the same way that I just did the other dangles. I'm going to vary them. So like this one, I want him to hang down kind of far. Let me get a better... I don't really want to use the... really want to use my really long head pins for these. Okay, so this guy, I'm going to have him hanging down kind of far. So I'm just going to make a loop, a regular loop for him. I don't know if this one-step looper is going to work for the starfish, because they have these little legs that poke up here. Let's see. Okay. It's a little tricky on him. I don't want to... Yeah, it works. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to do him. I'm probably going to dangle him from 2 or 3 jump rings down, so he hangs down kind of far. I'm going to do this one kind of up in here. I'm just going to vary them throughout. I'm using 5 of them. So go ahead and add your starfish in now and come on back. Okay, so here's what we've got. So now I'm going to work on these 3 just single beads, and I don't think that I'm going to use any of these. Like I said, I don't care for these beads. They just look like a blob to me. And this one is just, it's just too big. So we're going to set those aside. I'm not going to use those, but we are going to add these 3 on. And these 2 starfish. Okay, so I'm just going to take, I'm probably going to put a couple things with him. So maybe a seashell bead, then this guy, and then one of the little rondelles. So we'll do that. Here I am trying to make my own loops again. This thing is much quicker, I gotta say. So we'll do that one there. And then these guys. So let's see here. I think I'll do a little rondelle and this starfish. Yeah, that's kind of cute. I might do a little rondelle on top too. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, there's that one. And one more starfish. This one I'm just going to put on. I'm not going to do the rondelle. I don't think. I'm just going to hang it like this. Okay, don't want to come off there. There we go. And I've got these 2 guys. So let's see. For one, think I'll do like a seashell bead and this guy right here. If I can get them on there, my head pin's crooked. Just grab a different one. So seashell bead, rondelle, and then this one of these small rondelles. We'll do that just like that. Okay, and then this seashell bead, and I've got these cubes too. I keep forgetting them. Okay, this seashell bead, I'm just going to do probably just by itself. We'll just hang it on by itself. Whoops, that's just a piece of wire. Just like this. Okay, so now I'm just going to take these and I'm just going to randomly put them in. I may hang a couple down more. It's totally up to your own creative control in these bracelets. So just add these all in. And I know it looks like it's getting really crowded, but trust me, when you put these on, it's better to have way, way more than not enough. So just go ahead, put them on, and come right back. Okay, so it's looking pretty good here. I'm going to add in a few of the cubes. Again, same thing that I've been doing, just making a little dangle of sorts with the cubes, and probably trying to find some smaller head pins. The cubes and probably a couple of these beads. So I may do like a shell bead. Well, that one doesn't want to go on there. So we'll do a rondelle and a cube. Kind of like this. And again, I'm just varying the lengths of where I put them. Some of them I'm putting 2 jump rings on. Some of them I'm putting 3. So just go ahead and add in some of your cubes. I don't know how many I'm going to do. I'd like to make them hang down a little bit. So I'll probably do, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 of them. I probably won't do all of them, but probably 4 or 5 of them. Make them kind of dangle down a little bit. So go ahead and do that and come on back. Okay, so here's what we've got so far, and I think it's looking pretty good. So now we're going to pull our chain in here. Now, what I'm wanting to do is create some long pieces with this chain that will dangle, just really pretty dangly chain pieces. So I'm going to cut, I'm just going to come in here and I'm just cutting random lengths of it, and I'm going to put it all throughout this bracelet. I think this is going to make this really pretty and different and unique. So I'm just kind of laying it here, you know, and cutting pieces. They can be all different lengths. The kind of want longer ones here in the middle if possible. And then I may go a little shorter, but I think this is going to make this really kind of cool and pretty. And I want to just add in some chain. I like it. It's sparkly. This chain that they included in the box this month is really pretty. It's got a lot of, I call it fancy chain. It's got a lot of sparkle to it. And I think it'll be really pretty to add into this bracelet. So I'm just kind of laying it there, not really even measuring specific or anything, just gonna lay it here and cut some pieces. And I'm probably going to use most of it in this bracelet. I think this adds a really cool touch to the classic charm bracelet. Okay, I might add a couple more in here, maybe one in the middle. Like that, and possibly one more on this side. Yeah, this is really, I think this is going to make it really pretty. Okay, so let's go with that for now. I'm just going to take my jump rings like I've been doing, and I'm going to attach this chain all along there in those places that I have it, and then we'll come back and evaluate. Okay guys, so here's what we've got. I really like it. I think the chain adds a lot to it. I am going to trim this one piece right here. I don't know if I got those two mixed up, but it's a little bit long for where it's at. So I'm going to trim it up just a bit. That looks better. And I think we may need one more longer piece right here. In between those two, right in here. So this is where you kind of can evaluate what you're doing and see, you know, if you think it needs something else, or I'm going to cut it right about there and add on a jump ring. And I think that that will be good. So this is where you can kind of just look it over. If you see any holes that need filled in. We still have a bunch of our little rondelles over here, tiny ones, and our seashell beads, so we could always add in some stuff there. I'm going to put this one right here. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm really liking this. I like the chain added into the traditional bracelet. I think it just gives it just something different and cute. All right, so I think that it's pretty full. I don't think I really want to fill in any with these. I mean, you could go in here with some of them with your ball head pins maybe and put some in these spots, but I really think it's full enough. So let me put this on a form out here so it can hang right and you can see how it's going to look, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is our finished bracelet. I like it. I think it turns out super cute with the add-in of the chain. It just gives it something totally different than the regular charm bracelet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will have links for Bargain Bead Box in the description box below this video. If you want to subscribe, I have a $2 off coupon. It is Wendy2. We'll get you $2 off your first month's order, your first month's box. Or if you want to shop in their store, you can use the coupon code to get $2 off of your order. But you can only use it one time, so just keep that in mind. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I would appreciate it. It helps me so much, and I appreciate you all. I will see you in the next video. Bye.